Do you have empty pill bottles laying around? Hang on, don't toss them. Today I will be showing you how to turn them into elegant Christmas decor that looks like it came straight out of a high-end store. And trust me, you will want to stay until the last project. Hi, I'm Loli. Let's create something beautiful and find a little joy along the way. You are not going to believe this transformation. We're going to start with 3 of these pill bottles. You're going to remove the cap, and I'm going to use my hot knife, and I'm going to just trace right here where the end of this thread starts right here, where the bottle and the thread unite. But I'm being very careful to not burn the bottle side at all. Just trying to just cut off that thread section, and I'm just going very slow until it's completely removed. And I did the same thing with the other 2. For this project, we'll be using this jute cord that we got from Walmart. But first, we're going to flip these bottles over. And where the little bump is, I'm taking my hot knife and I'm creating a hole right there on that center, being very careful to not make it too big. I want it to just be the girth of the twine. And I repeated that with the other 2. Now that the holes are in place, we're going to take the end of our jute cord. I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue to it, and I'm going to just twist it. Please use your finger protections. I no longer have feelings on my fingers, so that doesn't bother me. And then I'm going to go ahead and thread that jute cord through that hole and just twisting it so it comes in, and then I'm going to pull it all the way through. And then I'm going to leave a nice amount of jute cord there, and I'm going to cut off this section. And I repeated the same thing with the other 2. Now that these are in place, I am going to take some of these bells from the Dollar Tree. I took 3 of those, and I'm going to use the same little edge that I used, or the end of the jute cord that was pointy, to thread it through the opening of that bell. And I'm going to do a double knot, making sure that my bell is nicely centered. And then I cut off the excess twine that I have on the edge, and then added a little bit of hot glue at the edge of that knot to avoid any slipping of it, so everything is secured permanently. I ended up pulling this back, but you should not. I'm just checking to see what it's going to look like, if it's going to dingling. Did I just give it away? Anyway, I just did the same thing with the other 2 pieces. And then here I'm removing the bell, and I'm going to create a knot. I will say about 1.5 to 2 inches away from the bell. That way everything stays in place. And you see, I'm going to repeat the same thing with the other 2. And then I'm going to burn off the fuzzies off of all of the strings going up right here. Friend, if you're enjoying this video so far, don't forget to hit that like button. All right, now we're going to cover our jute cord with some of this masking tape. I'm going to just add it right here, very close to the base of the pill bottle, but I want to make sure that I'm not touching the pill bottle. I wrapped it closely to the jute cord, then trim off the excess tape and just wrapped it all the way around until that was nicely tucked in. And I repeated the same thing with the other 2 as well. Then we're going to take it outside and spray paint them with some Rust-Oleum black paint. And this is what they were looking like when we were done. Now we're going to go ahead and just remove the tape from the jute cord. Next, I came in with some rub and buff in the color Antique Gold. I just added a little bit of the rub and buff to the tips of this brush, and then I'm going to begin stippling this all the way through. This gives this a beautiful finish, kind of like hammered metal with an antique flair. And I repeated this with all 3 of these pieces. My friend, if you're enjoying this video so far, please don't forget to hit that like button and let me know in the comment section where you're watching from. I love to know how far my videos are reaching. And share, because sharing is caring and it helps my channel grow. Thank you so much. Right, and what we did to this one, we're going to do to the other 2. And this is what they look like when we were done. Now we are going to put these together. We're going to just try to arrange them as best as we like them. I just wanted to have them at different levels. And once I was happy with the levels, I'm going to just go ahead and tie them together, as you see right here, in a nice, neat knot. Then I'm going to do another knot a little bit higher up, leaving some space. That way, if you plan on doing that, you can hang this on your tree if you like, or you can hang it on a handle of a door. The possibilities are endless. And now we're going to just go ahead and trim off the excess jute cord from the top. And this is looking so good, but we're not done. I'm going to take this pick that I got from Walmart for 98 cents. I'm going to just remove one of the peck sections off a bit, and we're going to use it to decorate this. I thought that right here was a perfect place to place it, so I'm just adding some hot glue there where the knot becomes flat, and I position it there, holding it in place until it completely dries. Then I took this ribbon that I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to wrap it around my fingers and create a finger bow. Here, I'm just trying to figure out exactly how much I'm going to need for this bow. So once I'm happy with it, I'm just going to go ahead and trim off that excess there. We're going to wrap our bow or our ribbon around our fingers twice, as you see there, with the tails looking the same direction. Then we're going to take that one tail and we're going to put it towards the middle, the two middle fingers there, around the ribbon, and then I'm going to loop it into that loop that I created and then tighten up that nut. And this gives you this very, very symmetrical bow. We can just maneuver the tails, as you see there, to make sure that they are both in the same direction and that they're both kind of like going down. Then we're going to just go ahead and separate the loops right here to create a two loop bow. And we are going to trim the excess ribbon as well. But first, I wanted to position this in place to see exactly how much of the ribbon I wanted to remove. So I just added some hot glue to that position right there and glued on my bow and arranged my ribbon tails closer to the center. And I angle cut my tails. Here, I wasn't sure if I was going to keep them long as you see here or go shorter. So for now, I'm going like this. And I cinch the edges here so it doesn't fray as I go along. But later on, I came in and I trimmed it a little bit. I wanted the bells to be the center of attention, and I felt like the ribbon here was kind of taken away from the beauty of the bells and also the beautiful pine cones attached to the greenery. And that is it. Let me know what you think. This is another unbelievable transformation. I'm going to take 3 pill bottles of 3 different sizes. I'm going to take my hot knife and I'm going to leave the cover on this one because the cover kind of helps me guide so I stay nice and straight. So I'm just cutting alongside the cover until that cover is completely removed. And we are going to repeat the same thing with the other 2 pill bottles. And we are saving the covers for a different DIY. Next, I took a piece of sandpaper and I'm sanding off the edges of each one of the pill bottles to remove any uneven edges. And we're going to also do a light sanding all along the shaft of all of the pill bottles, just so this have better adhesion for the next step. My friend, if you're enjoying this video so far, don't forget to hit the like button. While you're there, subscribe and set the bell to all so you're notified each time I upload a new video. Thank you so much. All right, once we have all of them sanded, we're going to take some of this Kryolan spray paint in brushed metal or hammered metal, and we're going to spray paint all of it. And then I'm going to take this Birch ribbon that I got from Dollar Tree some years back, and we're going to use it to wrap this. First, I'm going to see exactly how far I need to cut. Once I have the entire pill bottle completely wrapped, I'm going to go ahead and trim off the excess. And I'm going to use some Tide Bond Quick and Thick to adhere this. I'm just going to add a strip of it right here on the edge of the pill bottle and added the edge of the birch paper right here on it, making sure that everything remains nice and flat and adhered. Then we are going to make sure that everything is straight on all of the edges, especially in the top section. And once we make sure that everything is even, we're going to add another bead of the Tide Bond Quick and Thick on the other edge here when we are closing this up. I'm going to add some closer to the paper and some on the pill bottle, and then we're going to seal it in place as you see there, making sure that the edge there, that the glue is going all the way to the edge to make sure that that becomes just one seamless piece. So here you see me adding some more on that edge, making sure that it's flat, and then we're going to just brush it across as you see there, holding it in place until it's glued. And we're going to do the same thing with the other one. But first, we are going to go ahead and trim off the bit of excess paper we have in the bottom. We want these to sit nice and flush on our counter. And we're going to repeat the same thing with the other 2 pill bottles. And now we have this beautiful grouping. We're going to take some of this jute cord that I got from Walmart. We're going to remove these little fuzzy things here. These tend to catch on fire if you cinch or you burn your fuzzies. So I like to remove them to avoid that. And then I'm going to come in with my lighter and then just remove all the fuzzies from my jute cord. Then I'm going to cut a section that is big enough to wrap around this twice. And then I'm able to also tie it at the front. So I'm making sure to cinch those also. Then I'm going to just wrap it as you see there, having the jute cord at the center. Then I'm holding that in place to make sure that the cord remains tight around those three pieces. Then I'm going to just go ahead and do one loop right here so I'm able to tie it. I'm going to hold that knot in place with my thumb while I flip this over and create a shoelace bow right here at the front. So once I make sure that that bow is tied, then I'm able to let go and everything remains nice and tight. And I'm going to just do a tiny little bow, and just once I'm happy with it, we're going to just remove the excess tails from this. And it is such a cute little arrangement. All right, now we're going to take this pick that we got from Walmart for 98 cents. We're going to cut it into 3 individual pieces and place these pieces right inside of each one of these pill bottles. You can always add a little bit of stones or something underneath to weigh it down. I didn't see the need for that for me because it was pretty sturdy. And then that is it. Let me know what you think. Today's video is part of the Talented Creators Collaboration, and we do this on the third Saturday of every month. It is hosted by my friend Audia from DIY with Audia, myself Loli from Loli D's Creations. And this month is all about Christmas in July, and we have the privilege of having the amazing Buffy Designs as our guest host. The links to our channels and the playlist will be linked in the description box below. Please head over to the playlist and show everyone some love. This one is so easy, and when I'm done, you're not going to believe it started as pill bottle caps. I started by removing all of the threads from the caps. We are just going to be using the caps. Then we are going to add some hot glue to the top of the cap and then flip the other cap and body it together just as you see right there, pressing very hard so everything is nice and snug, and that is perfect. We're going to do the same thing with the second pair right here, and we're using smaller caps for this. Then I'm going to take 2 other caps that are actually for bigger bottles, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to add hot glue to the top of one and glue it to the top of another. We're just going to sandwich them together and press firmly. I had a little bit of hot glue seep on the sides of this one, so I'm just taking a flat screwdriver and just removing the excess glue so everything will be nice and seamless. Then I'm taking some of this spray paint from Rust-Oleum and giving them 2 coats. Next, I'm going to take some of this antique gold rub and buff, and I'm using a stiff brush, and I'm going to add the rub and buff to all of the tips of the bristles. And then I'm going to begin stippling them all over the pill bottle cap and all of the little ridges. I'm leaving some areas black. I want it to look like it's antique metal. I make sure to do that on the sides, also in the inside of both sides of the bottle caps. And we're going to repeat this process with the other 2. And look at this beautiful finish, but we're not done yet. We're going to take one of these battery-operated tea light candles from the Dollar Tree. This one is going to go right here in the bigger one. And then we're going to take 2 of these tea light candles from the Dollar Tree as well. And we're going to position these on top of the 2 smaller ones. And look how amazing this looks. Please let me know in the comment section what do you think of this one. I absolutely love this trio. It has a high-end industrial look. Let me know what you think. Oh my goodness, I outdid myself with this one. I have to toot my own horn. Toot toot. Anyway, guys, I'm going to start this one with this sign from the Dollar Tree. Of course, we'll be using some pill bottles. First, we're going to remove this. This is a sign. I'm being very, very careful not to break it because we can use it for a different project. So we're going to just remove it carefully and put it to the side. Here the paper was kind of falling off, so I decided to just remove it. You're going to remove the backing from this piece. And I thought it would be easy to remove it as it was just lifting, but it wasn't at the end of the day. But that's fine. We're going to tear what was lifting off, and it doesn't matter. We're going to just go ahead and reposition it in place. We're going to continue to have that one as the front of it. That is fine because it's going to be covered. So we're going to reposition the backing onto this. We're going to flip it over, and then we're going to take our piece of pool noodle that I have there to the side, and we're going to position it in the inside of this frame. I'm using this spatula to just mark what I need to cut, and then just taking my scissors and cutting that piece off. Now we are going to remove this hanger from the back as well, because we're not going to need it, but we will need it for another project, so we're going to put it to the side. Then I'm taking these little snowmen that I got from Dollar Tree, and we are going to glue them to the bottom section here. I'm using some Tide Bond Quick and Tick to do that. And I'm going to glue the bottom of the snowman to each corner of this little decor piece here from the Dollar Tree. You're going to flip it over, and we're going to be very careful because it takes about 15 minutes for that to dry. And I just remove any excess glue that had. While that is drying, I'm going to go ahead and take these pill bottles, and I'm going to use my hot knife as you see there, using the cotton attachment on it. I'm just scoring this and cutting into the plastic using that knife, and I went all the way around trying to stay as straight as possible. And what I did to this one, I'm going to do to the other two. And if I had any areas that were not even, I'm coming back in and flatten it with the iron as you see right there. And we're repeating the process with the other two bottles. And now we're going to take these dowel rods. We are going to cut one of them in half. This is what I thought was half. I put my miter shears in the 90-degree angle, and then I cut this in half. It wasn't quite half, of course. I was eyeballing. But then I just put them together as you see there, making sure that they were even. And then I used my miter shears to cut off the excess from the piece that was longer. And now they are even. For the third dowel rod, or the second one that's going to become the third one, I'm going to position it next to one of them, and I want this one to be a bit longer. So I'm just going to cut a piece from the top there, and I'm going to use the longer piece. It didn't cut all the way, so I just spinned it around and snipped it, and that did it. Now we're going to flip each one of these pill bottles to the back, and we will be adding the dowel rods. But in order to do that, I'm taking my hot iron, and I'm doing a hole right in the middle there where you see that little circle and that little bump. So that way I'm making it big enough that the dowel rod is going to fit in there, but I don't want to push it all the way up. I'm going about 2/3 of the way, or maybe half. And we're going to do the same thing with the other two. Now we are going to take our pool noodle and glue it to the middle here where we intend to put it. I'm just adding some hot glue to the sides there, and then position it right there on the center. Once it was nicely adhered, we are going to take these and we're going to position them onto the pool noodles. But to do that, I needed to know exactly the distance that I needed to put the middle one into. And I'm finding the middle of the piece there and positioning that dowel rod inside of the pool noodle. Now here, I want to space this out equally from the middle one. So I'm positioning this one right here. Is about 8 centimeters away from each other, both of these. All right, so now we are going to add some hot glue in the hole that we created with the dowel rods, and then we're gonna reposition the dowel rods in there and hold it in place straight until the hot glue sets, and I repeated that with all three of them. Then I'm taking some hot glue and I'm adding it right here on the base also to secure everything in place. I did that with all of the dowel rod as well. I'm also adding a dollop of hot glue on top of the dowel rods. That way the hot glue is going to trickle down to the bottom and it's going to secure the dowel rod to the bottom of the pill bottles as well. And I did that with all three of them. And I remove any glue webs as well. Then I'm going to take some of this Rust-Oleum gold spray paint and take it outside, give it 2 coats, and this is what it looked like. Now we are going to embellish this. To do that, I'm going to use a variety of florals from the Dollar Tree and Walmart, some small ornaments from the Dollar Tree, and some pine cones from Hobby Lobby. I'm going to start by adding these pieces of pick from Walmart, and we're going to add it to the four corners of the arrangement as you see there. Then I'm coming in with this greenery also. This is pine pieces that came from Dollar Tree. I'm going to position some on this side, and the same thing I did to this side, I'm going to do to the other one as well. I want this to be nicely balanced. Then I'm taking some of these berries. These came from Hobby Lobby from a pick that I got 90% off. I think I paid about a quarter for that. And then I'm using some of this other greenery from Dollar Tree, and we're going to position it here in the middle. Then I'm taking these darker pine pieces from the Dollar Tree and positioning them right here to give it a little bit more height. I'm trying to do variation in different colors and textures to make this look more high end. Next, I'm coming in with more berries. And actually, it came from a berry pick, but it's flowers. And we're going to position it underneath, like where we have the little pocket from the pool noodle, we pushing it right in there. Then I'm taking some more of that greenery from Dollar Tree, putting it on the sides here, and some more of the white one right here on the sides. When I'm doing to one side, I'm doing to the other to keep it nicely balanced. Then I added some here for height in between the pill bottles also. Then we're going to add some interest with some of these berries. These came from Hobby Lobby as well. And I'm just going to cut apart this pick and then just stick it in different areas here and there to bring in more texture to those pieces. Then I'm going to come in with smaller pieces of these pine pieces from the Dollar Tree. And we're going to add them right here to the bottom to just give it a more of a wispy look. Now we are going to take some more of, we're going to flip it over. We're going to take some more of those little pieces of pine and fill in the other side in the same manner. In this side, I'm bringing in some more of the whites and then bringing in some more of the darker pine. And I'm adding here the ornaments. I'm going to put them right here on this side just to bring some more sparkle to this and a different type of texture. And I added one to the other side here too. Then I'm going to come in with this leftover piece of sparkly flowers that we have put on the sides. We're going to put this last one right here on the front. Then we're going to come in with some pines to fill in some areas in which we see that are a little bit scarce, that we're missing a little bit more interest. And we are filling this nicely. Now we're going to come in with some of these pine cones. We're going to add them to different sections right here. You can see it on the camera, but I had a little bald spot in those sections, and it's perfect for this pine cone to sit nicely. I just added a nice amount of hot glue on that one and just position it there in place. Then I'm coming in with some more of these berries that I got from Hobby Lobby. We are putting them here on the sides. I decided to put it there. Then I changed my mind. I said, you know what? This is looking a little bit different. So we're going to remove those. And instead, I'm going to add some pine cones to different areas. Here, I'm putting that one right there. We're going to add the berries instead over here to the corners. And I want them to be a bit more wispy and higher up just to give this more volume. And I did the same thing with the other side. Now we are going to come in and flip it over, see how everything is looking, and I am loving it. I'm going to just take some more pines and put them in different areas that feel a little bit bare, just to make sure that this is filled so it looks as high-end as possible. Now we're going to come in with this leftover piece of berry, and we're going to position it right here on this side. And this is looking so luxurious. I am loving this so far. Now we're going to take another of these little ornaments from the Dollar Tree, and we're going to position it here. But this is where I had my accident, guys. Ouchies. I had the hot glue hit my finger and it burned. And I tried to put my finger in my mouth to cool it down, and I burned the side of my mouth. It was horrible. But the show must continue. They continue to add different ornaments here and there and some of the pine picks as well until I was happy with it. Then I had this white fern pick that I got from Hobby Lobby. I'm going to cut it into 3 separate pieces. I'm going to position two of them right here in the front, right here, to just give it a little bit more interest. I'm doing the same thing on the other side right here. And we're going to add the third one. Actually, we're going to add these berries here to the middle to just even things out a bit. And then we're going to add some candles to this. And a pool noodle is going to be used for this. So we're going to go ahead and cut about 1.5 inches section of pool noodle. Then I'm going to slice the corners off, as you see there, being very careful to not cut the opening of it. I went all the way around until most of the pool noodle section was cut off. And if I had any corners that were kind of thick. I just trimmed them off with my scissors, and then I just slipped it inside of my pill bottle. And this is the perfect little pocket to put your candles in. And that's it. Let me know what you think. I'm so in love with this piece. Now it's your turn to vote. If you could only keep one of these Christmas DIYs, which one will it be and why? Please let me know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's episode, here are a couple more videos you are sure to enjoy. Thank you so much for stopping by. You're amazing. Bye.